What if I told you tithing is not about your money, but your heart? What if I told you that many Christians tithe out of guilt, fear, or not at all, missing the real purpose God had in mind? Today, we uncover the truth, not religion, not tradition, but a divine principle that can unlock freedom, blessing, and eternal impact. So don't skip this, because this could change everything. Welcome to Finances with Porpoise. What is tithing? Is tithing still for today? Why does God ask us to tithe? What happens when we don't tithe? What happens when we do tithe? Common objections and misconceptions. Final word: it's not about money. What is tithing? The word tithe means tenth. Biblically, it refers to bringing the first 10% of all we earn back to God. It started long before the law of Moses. Genesis 14. Abraham gave a tenth to Melchizedek, the priest of God Most High. Jacob promised a tenth to God in Genesis 28. Tithing was a symbol of honor, of trust, of worship, not just a tax, not a rule, but a statement. God, you are my provider, not my paycheck. Is tithing still for today? Some say tithing was part of the Old Testament law, and we're no longer under it. That's partly true, but here's the full picture. Jesus himself affirmed the principle of tithing in Matthew 23:23. He told the Pharisees, "You should tithe, yes, but do not neglect the more important things." The early church didn't just tithe, they gave everything. Acts 2:45 says they sold possessions to meet needs. So if you think tithing is too much, imagine everything. Tithing isn't legalism. It's a starting point for joyful, surrendered generosity. Why does God ask us to tithe? Let's be clear. God doesn't need your money. He owns it all already. Psalm 24:1. But tithing is God's way of working greed, fear, and selfishness out of us. Malachi 3:10. Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse. Test me in this, and see if I won't open the floodgates of heaven. Tithing is about faith. It's about putting God first, even when the numbers don't make sense. It's about discipline, obedience, and worship. Every time you tithe, you say, "God, I trust you more than my salary. You are first. I don't serve money. I serve you." What happens when we don't tithe? Let's be honest. Many Christians struggle financially, not just because of inflation or bills, but because of disobedience. Malachi 3:8 says, "Will a man rob God? Yet you rob me in tithes and offerings." That's not about punishment. It's about protection. When we withhold the tithe, we block what God wants to release. We forfeit divine favor. We open doors to financial stress, fear, and cycles of lack. What happens when we do tithe? 1700 to 2330. Tithing is a spiritual key that unlocks supernatural results. Peace in your finances, wisdom in your decisions, breakthrough in your provision, protection from the devourer. Malachi 3:11. It's not a get-rich-quick formula. It's a get-your-heart-in-order principle. Proverbs 3:9-10. Honor the Lord with your wealth. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing. Countless believers have testimonies of God showing up when they put Him first. Are you next? 6. Common objections and misconceptions. I don't have enough to tithe. Truth: you won't ever feel ready until you act in faith. I give my time instead. Your time is valuable, but not a replacement. I tithe when I feel led. Obedience isn't based on feelings. It's based on truth. Churches just want my money. Good churches steward what's given for kingdom purposes. Test where you give, but don't withhold from God because of man. Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse. Test me in this, and see if I will not throw open the windows of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. This blessing is not limited to financial return. It's peace in the middle of a storm. It's wisdom when you're unsure. It's favor when doors should be closed. It's protection when the economy shakes. If you fully obey the Lord your God, all these blessings will come on you and accompany you. Look at this. Your household will be blessed. Your work will be blessed. Your children will be blessed. Even your enemies will be confused. God's blessing is not a paycheck. It's a presence. You may start tithing expecting provision, but God surprises you with peace, joy, clarity, and relationships restored. It's not about money. Tithing is not a money issue. It's a heart issue. Jesus said, "Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Matthew 6:21. When you tithe, you're saying, "My heart belongs to God. I live for eternal purpose, not temporary stuff. I'm building a kingdom that will never be shaken." If you've never tithed before, today is the day. If you've stopped, today is your invitation to trust again. God doesn't want something from you. He wants something for you. If this message spoke to you, don't leave without taking action. Make a plan to honor God with your tithe. Share this message with someone who needs it. Subscribe for more biblical truth about money, purpose, and kingdom living. You were made for more than surviving. You were made for impact. This is Finanzas con Propósito, where faith meets finance and purpose unlocks provision. Until next time, keep God first, and your life will never be the same.